Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. And I want to say Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to y'all Nakwat out there, brothers and sisters pursuing the truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And this is the lesson I've been talking about, making for a couple days, dealing with this woman. That would be a response to this video that was put out by Elder Manasseh Zatbah, beloved brother down there in South Carolina. GMS South Carolina 08 to be specific is his page. It's Elder Manasseh Zatbah down there. And I saw this a couple days ago. It was 6 days ago when I saw it and thought of the lesson. It's been 9 days now. So it's been about 3 days. Just had other lessons through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shah that were coming out. And but this is kind of, sitting on the back burner, keeping warmed up and heat with the heat on it. And couldn't really think of anything today. I had to run out of work. I didn't have much time to, really ponder and, to think about things I wanted to touch on. And so the idea came to mind, and maybe now is about the time to go ahead and do that lesson on that video. So here we are. And now I can't remember if I watched all of this video. You watch so many lessons, you forget. And especially, it's hard to keep track of with these women. Because a lot of these lessons that Elder Manasseh Zatbah, he's been going in on TikTok. And a lot of them are about women. These women that are just bugged out or just bugged out people. So it's hard to really recall which lesson was which. Because, it's another bug out, right? And each one is almost more infuriating than the last. These people, man, and these lessons are very edifying because it really shows you the state of the mindset, the state of the mind that these people are in, man. They're all fucked up in the head, and it's what they think about you, all right? Hebrew Israelites, she hates your guts, all right? These women do not like you, all right? It's like the opening of No Vaseline by Ice Cube, where it says, here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you, right? And you just hear that over and over and over again, layered on top of layered on top of layer. Here's what they think about you, all right? And here's what they think about you, man. They don't like you. And but you can see I'm about 6 minutes in here. I've skipped in because this isn't really a touching on the whole lesson. There's one specific lady in here that really pissed me off, and that, really through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai had me hot on, talking about her, all right, in a video. And it's not this lady that you see with the glasses on right now. It's this next lady that I've stopped it just before her video starts. And, of course, all the ladies, they piss me off, but this lady at the end here, probably the worst one, man. And she's in that feministic spirit, that know-it-all spirit, and the type of spirit that just irks you, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip again by the brother. If you haven't watched the lesson, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go and subscribe. It's GMS South Carolina 08. Great brother, all right, great brother that teaches down there with him. If you happen to be watching this, hey, Shabbat Shalom, and Yahweh Shemiah Shai, Yahweh Shemiah Shai Barakhtam to you and your family, man. Excellent lessons, excellent edification, excellent brother. And hey, man, may peace be with you. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and play it. And Salakia for the vexation that will occur. Not may occur, it will occur. Because, man, this had me hot, had me pissed off. And I know it's going to piss you brothers and sisters off, too. You sisters even that are walking rightly, man. This is the type of shit when you're walking right and you see people walking left. It gets on you, man. Vexation. It makes you vexed, man. That people are even like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and full screen it, all right, for your displeasure, so you can see this beast in full resolution. Like I said, I'm on a tablet, so Lord willing, everything goes out. I'm on a tablet. It's a little late to be out yelling in the loft, when people are trying to sleep. So I said, hell, I'll just do it. I don't do it a lot because it messes up, but through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, I know it's gonna be all right this time. I checked the storage. A lot of time with storage issues. So I'm going to let it roll. We're going to get back to it. I might pause it halfway through, but without any further ado, Here you go.
A lot of women are not going into the Hebrew Israelite community questioning or critically thinking either. They're not doing either of those things. They're looking to relinquish their own autonomy, honestly. They're looking to have someone chew the meat and spit out the bones and give them what's left. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a shepherd. They want a shepherd. They don't want to read Torah, read the Bible for themselves. They want someone to do it for them. This is why it's so easy for them to go into this community, because mind you, in the Hebrew Israelite culture, that's why I call it a cult, because when you come in, when you're on the outside looking in, they're appealing to you by telling you, this is a truth that I have that you don't have access to.
And she thinks she's on something. So the first thing that I want to touch on right here is she's saying, they're looking for someone to do that for them instead of them doing. Well, really, men are to teach the women. Women cannot teach themselves. Okay? There's not one prophet, all right, that was a female. Now, people talk about prophetess, but a prophetess is a woman that has dreams. All right? It's not someone that goes out and prophesies. Okay? None of these type of things, through any other communication other than dreams, did the Most High ever, put the Holy Spirit on a woman to go out and teach. All right, none of the named prophets, all right, were female. All right, and that's for a reason. There's even scriptures that talk about women not teaching. Okay, so no, a woman is not going to be able to communicate with with the Spirit like that. As far as receiving scriptural knowledge on her own, she needs to be taught. Okay, they need to be taught. So when you're saying, oh no, instead of going and doing it on her own, really a woman can't go and do it on her own. She needs a man. All right, she needs a man. Just want to pause off and say that there's some scriptures I could grab. I'll wait. I'll hold up. No. Let's go and get one. Let's get what do I have off the bat? I know I got some already up. Let's get none of these yet, but let's get. Come on. Oops. Come on now. There we go. Damn. All right, let's get Let's get 1 Corinthians. Uh, 14. Well. All right. Where do I want to start? Really, I want to kind of get I want to get from 29 to show you it doesn't say he or she, right? So this is 1 Corinthians 14 and 29. It says, "Let the prophet speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace." Right? His, not his or her peace, his. "For ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn, and all may be comforted." Right? So it doesn't say he or she. Right? So, and then we'll get on down, because we might as well. It says, "And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. We get that one a lot. The Lord's not the author of confusion, all right, in any matter. And 34 right here, the point we were going to get, says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So women are not commanded to speak in church. They are not commanded. And mind you, with church is where two or more are gathered in my name, right? Is it two or more? Is it or we're one or two? Let's get it. Two or three. We'll get it right here. And Christianity, this don't mean it. What does for their what does this mean? It means that's where church is. You dummy. I can't find it, but we'll get it here. No. That's why I like just getting on the KJV, because it just gives it to us automatically. There we go. So it says, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. And it also talks about our body being a temple, all right? So when you get those coming together, 2 or 3 people together, that's church, okay? That is church. So going back, all right, you're not supposed to speak when you're not supposed to be speaking on the comment boards. You're not supposed to be speaking to brothers in the highways and byways. All right, you're not supposed to be and any of that is church. So you're not supposed to be speaking in a group of people, speaking in a spiritual light. You're not really supposed to be like, oh yeah, get John 3:16. No, that is not a woman's job. All right, women have their place, men have their place. All right, just like it's not a man's place to be at home, all right, putting on makeup, getting all pretty looking for the wife. No, that ain't our that ain't for us to do. Okay, that ain't for us to do. There's certain things that men do that women shouldn't do. There's certain things that women do that men shouldn't do. Right? That's just how it is. We're different people at the end of the day, and a lot of people buy into that feministic spirit like this woman does, and it's got them all fucked up in the head, and they're thinking things that are after the doctrines of men. Right? And really not the doctrines of men, but men as in, mankind. All right? People of this world, not of the Lord. As it says in verse 34, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. So the comment boards, even church, like the actual church, those are going off, but they're not supposed to be speaking there either. It says, but they are commanded to be under silence, as also saith the law. Furthermore, in 35 it says, and if they will learn anything, right? Because they need to be taught. If they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in church. Yeah, for it is a shame for women to speak in church. All right. Let's see. It says, what, came the word of Yahweh out of you, or came it unto you only? So, look, man, as a matter of fact, let's go and get, let's go back up to the Bible Gateway. Because I want to see something. Let's go to the good news. And there you go, right? The title, Order in the Church. So, order. Right here. It says, as in all the churches of Yahweh's people, the women should keep quiet in the meetings. They are not allowed to speak, as the Jewish law says, they must not be in charge. If they want to find out about something, wait, shouldn't they just know? No, because the Lord's going to speak. No, the Lord puts the Holy Spirit on men to teach, not women. Okay? As the scripture is literally saying right now, they're not commanded to speak. So if you're not commanded to speak in church, you're damn sure not allowed to formulate your own church to speak. Okay? It says they must not be in charge. If they want to find out about something, they should ask their husbands at home. It is a disgraceful thing for a woman to speak in a church meeting. Or could it be that the word of Yahweh came from you? Or are you the only ones to whom it came? There you go. So, that's those two scriptures. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and get in 35 through... Where's the little 36? And I want to get it in the NLT. Or the NLV. We'll get it in the NIV, the NLV, and the NLT. NIV says if they want to... actually... Alright. NIV says, women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission, as the law says. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home, for it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. Or, did the word of Yahweh originate in you? Or, are you the only people it has reached? And then let's get the, we'll skip the NLV. Let's get the, well, we can look at it. Same thing. Yeah, it's pretty much, we pretty much got it. You can read it, you can pause it and read it, but yeah, they're all pretty much similar, man. So, no, you have to learn it from a man. You can't just do it yourself. All right, that's not something you can just go out of your way and you can just do it. No, man. And we'll come back to this in just a minute, but let's finish up what this idiot has to say.
This is a truth you need to know, and if you don't know it, you're doomed.
And why do they always look the same, man? They always look the same with those nose piercings, that same fucking eye makeup, that same orange or red hair straightened out to look as white as possible, and those big-ass goofy glasses. And I know this bitch big. I can tell she's big through the fucking screen.
Because it's like, wait, I know.
Look at her shoulders, man. Look at her shoulders. That bitch got like fucking 74 inches between shoulder to shoulder. God damn. Big to the back.
I'm on my journey of like seeking knowledge and truth.
You're on your journey of seeking a chicken wing. God
appealing.
damn.
If they're telling you they have a bad boy piece of information, you won't go over there and inquire.
Not always. Alright? If I got some Muslim standing saying, hey man, you need to come over here and you get this truth black. You need to bring it out black. You need to get it black. And I'm gonna say, nah, man. I ain't with that Islam stuff. What? You ain't with the Islam? Islam. One Islam. Nation under Islam. One Islam. You ain't with Islam. No, I'm not with Islam because that shit's goofy as fuck, bro. It's goofy as fuck. Okay, and I'm not with it. All right, none of us are. We're not with one nation of Islam or Nation of Islam or whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves, or just regular Muslim or whatever, any different sect of you so-called black folk Muslims. No, man, you're wrong. You're over here thinking you're Muslim. You ain't Muslim, man. All right? You're Israelites. Okay? Israelites. The Lord's chosen people. Okay? None of that Muhammad and no, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's where the truth's at. You don't believe it? Cool. Whatever, man. Sorry, sayonara. Wouldn't want to be you. See ya. Kick rocks. Skedaddle. Skaboot. Get your ass out of here. Hit the road jack and don't come back. Right? Don't want to hear from you. We don't care at the end of the day. If you don't believe it, cool. Just like this lady don't believe it. Cool, whatever. But I'm going to put this out there. We're going to put these lessons together to show you what these people think, and also for edification and to prove you wrong. To show you that if anybody had thoughts like this, You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong, right?
The issue is, when you go over there to inquire, then you're pulled in through your curiosity, and women take it as far as to really being yoked up with these men.
And it's not that really. It's rejection. What you just talked about was you went over there and you get lured in. You get lured and rejected, all right, because you get lured on the premise of knowledge, and that's what's luring you in. The truth, all right. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is luring you in, and there's an XYZ step of how it works with these so-called black women. Okay, they hear about the Lord. They say, "Oh, I love Jesus," and then they go over there, thinking that it's Jesus. Okay. And then they find out it's not Jesus, and then they leave. That's one. All right, they say, "Oh, well, you talking about the wrong Lord. It's all Lord Jesus. God is great all the time. All the time, He's great. God of time. Praise Jesus." That's that. That's you, right? There's that, and then there's the other one. And the other one, you see quite frequently. All right, you see the brothers that are out there dealing with them. They'll come over. The information sounds appealing. They're Israelites at the end of the day. The information sounds appealing. They like it. Sounds good, right? Everything sounds good. They might even get involved with it for a little bit, hear about it, talk about it. Oh, that's cool. Then the rules for women come out. Or a brother says something about women. Or they try to talk and say, hey, women ain't supposed to be teaching. Something that kills that feministic spirit within them happens. And they say, fuck this shit, and fuck you too. With your black ass. Fuck you, ain't your Superman ass cop. Fuck you, and that. And then all that comes out. You know how the black woman is. They will go from your fucking heels all the way goddamn to your fucking eyebrows, man. They'll say your shoes look stupid. Your outfit looks stupid. The cologne you got on smells like piss. I don't like the color of skin and your ashy and your eyes too far apart. They'll go all in on you, alright? They will literally critique everything about you, but you can't say one thing about the black woman because now you're hateful. All right, now you just hate the black woman. No, you don't like a taste of your own medicine. All right, there's order and rule, and that's the main thing that gets these black women away. All right, that's the main thing. They go over there, it sounds appealing, then they hear about the order. All right, because Yahweh Shemiah Shai is a power of order. Okay, let everything be done decently and in order. All right, that's scripture right there. Okay, that's the Lord commanded it. Let everything be done decently and in order. Okay, and they don't like the order, so when they go over there and order starts going on, they say, I don't like this. And that's when it goes from something cool, something interesting, to, as they would call it, shit. All right? Or bullshit. Or racist. Or hateful. Or bigoted. Or patriarchal. Or, you know, any of these words that these fucking women use. That's when it becomes something like that. When it's something that, oh, I like this. This sounds cool. Oh, we're Israelites? I like that. That's cool. Oh, my God, we're the chosen people of the Lord. Oh, His real name is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Of course, you have the ones that are the Jesus freaks. Those ones get weaned out pretty quickly. But, I like that. I like that name. Yeah, and the women got to keep, excuse me? You have to keep order. I have to do what? I don't have to do a damn thing. But the Lord commanded it. No, the Lord ain't commanded it. The Lord's great. You over here, you men are commanded it because you want control over what? No, the Lord commanded it, and you don't like it. Or you have a lot of people, and you see it from time to time, more frequently than not, a lot of people will try to demonize Paul. They'll be like, oh, well, Paul, these are the writings of Paul. A lot of that comes from the writings of Paul. Paul was a chauvinist. Paul was this. Paul was that. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shemiah Shai, or as you would call it, God, all right, allowed it in the Bible, all right, or God and Jesus Christ, right? God and Jesus Christ, right? Allowed it in the Bible, all right, as you would ignorantly call him, the Father and the Son. Real name for the Father is Yahweh. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names, no doubt about it. You don't like it, beat feet, get out. All right, either receive it or leave it. It's up to you. And it really ain't up to you at the end of the day, but you have the illusion of free will, all right? So your illusion of free will can take you on down the street, all right? So... but that's what happens. They come over, they end up not liking it, and then they end up leaving. They say, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. They say something about Paul, or you'll hear the Christians talk about Paul. Well, you're saying the Lord's wrong then, because the Lord put it in the Bible, all right? If what Paul said was wrong, the Lord would have not allowed it in the Bible, okay? So, Paul wasn't wrong. The Lord wasn't wrong. You're wrong. You've been wrong, stay wrong, and you'll continue to be wrong, all right? And I'm about sick of these fucking bozo the clown haired ass freaks. Alright, these Jake women. And these fucking pencil thin ass, goatee having ass, no fucking hair on their head having ass Jake men too. over here thinking they know something. Oh, God told me. God didn't tell you shit. He didn't tell you a damn thing, all right? Satan told you some things, but the Lord didn't, all right? You're over here, God told me to tell you, hey, man, if the Lord told you anything, it would be to shut your dumb ass up, because you're over here saying a whole bunch of stuff that isn't anything. He said, God told me to not listen to these people, and you do what you love. God didn't tell you that. Satan told you that. But Satan's your God, so in a way, you're right. Right? Lord didn't tell you that. Yahweh Shem Yahushua didn't tell you that. The Lord of the Bible didn't tell you that, and his son sure didn't tell you that neither. So you either told yourself that, a demon told you that, or that's it. Because the Lord wouldn't tell you no bugged out shit like that. Alright? Let's continue on. Painfully crawling through this lady's, and it gets worse. It only gets worse. It gives me time to grab a drink though.
These men will tell you, I'm supposed to be a leader. Mind you, these women are already programmed by the patriarchy. They're already programmed by just general existing in a world that favors men, in a world that tells you you're less than, you're not making as much as them, things like that.
Right? So that's what she says. That's that feminist. She's that feminist. So I gotta go and get another scripture, man. Didn't even have time to drink my drink before this bitch said another dumb thing. God damn. Right? Like Chris Tucker, right? Bear with me. All right. So, she said a word here. Bear with me, my nose all stuffed up. Let me use some of that nose stuff. Oh, good Lord. I might have to use some of the stronger stuff. This peppermint stuff ain't cutting it. God damn. Dry, just dryness. That Vegas dryness gets all up in your nose, man. Gets you all stuffed and shit. God damn. Anyway, it's like you. But, bear with me 1 minute. But yeah, she said this word here, patriarchy. And I wanted to go ahead and define what that is. Because that term patriarchy, if you ever hear a bitch or a dude talking about the patriarchy, they're feminists. Alright? They're feminists. Because you have male feminists now, which is the dumbest shit. Like, I'm a non-racist Ku Klux Klan member. I'm a Jew-loving Nazi. I'm a carb-eating... I'm a sugar-eating person on a keto diet. I'm a, right? That's what they're saying, right? That's because being a male feminist is the equivalent of saying those things, because that's like a cow saying I'm pro butcher shop, right? I'm pro butcher, right? I'm pro hamburger. That's the opposite of what you are, right? In feminism, it ain't like, and feminism in all of its shapes and forms is bad. It's always been bad. Even women trying to have equal rights, because we're not equal, okay? Men should be trying to be on putting themselves into a same equal boat as women either, because equal means the same. Equal means the same, okay? In a lot of words, in a lot of ways. There's different types of equal. All right, if you really look into the word, but equal means really the same. And we're not the same as women, so we're not equal to women, and women are not equal to us. Okay? We're not equal to each other because we're different. Equal would mean that we're even, and we're not even. You have your different stuff, we have our different stuff. But when you get down to the world version of equal, which is really not equal, it's either someone's above or someone's below, men are above women. All right, and that's just a biblical fact. That is just a biblical fact, okay? We can prove that real quick with 1 Corinthians 11:9. It says, neither was the man... Actually, let's go up and get 8. It says, 1 Corinthians 11:8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man, okay? The Lord didn't make Eve first, okay, and form her of the dust and then make Adam. No, he formed Adam of the dust and then he made the woman. He made Eve. Alright? And then she went on to fuck up. Right? Because enough wasn't enough, as we just made a lesson about it the other day. She wanted to know, having everything just wasn't enough, right? It just wasn't enough for her, right? That's why you can't be equal, man. These women are in a constant state of, you need to be corrected by men. You're the weaker vessel, all right? You're the lower being. It sucks to say, but it's not necessarily you're not a piece of shit. All right, a lot of you women are, but a lot of you men are pieces of shit as well. But the woman as a core in her righteous state is not a piece of shit. All right, she's a beautiful thing. All right, a godly woman. All right, is better than fine rubies. Right? There's many scriptures that proclaim the goodness of a woman. Right? But you're not in that state anymore, all right? Us as men, we're not perfect. We're trying to go back into that righteous state as we're doing in this truth, all right? As Hebrew Israelites, as Israelites learning our heritage, but you don't like it. You women, and some women out there are trying too, but there's more men in this truth than there are women because 99% of the women are just wicked as hell, and they don't want it. They're not having it. They don't want to think about those things, right? So... But there's a lot more men now that are saying, look, I want to try to come back and do my right thing. But you women don't want to do your right thing, right? A woman in her natural righteous state is full of synergy with a man. What is synergy? Let's go and look up that word real quick. Or how do you say it? Yeah.
Synergy.
Synergy. The interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. Synergy. That's another word. Right there. A mutually advantageous conjunction or compatibility of distinct business participants or elements. So when men and women come together, all right, in a righteous state, they're capable of great things, all right? And in some cases can do better things than they could by themselves, okay? But the fact of the matter is that after that whole Adam and Eve situation, men and women have had animosity, okay? The woman doesn't want to do what the man is supposed to do, and the man's supposed to lead, and the women don't want to be led. All right, 9 times out of 10, they want to lead themselves. The problem is they're blind and they lead themselves into a ditch, and when they fucking fall into that ditch, they claw themselves up out blaming the man. So you say, well, the man, if he went to put this hole here, well, if you would have let the man lead, all right, he was your seeing eye dog, but you didn't want nothing to do with him. All right, you had an issue with him. You didn't need no man. All right, but now, when you needed a man, and you didn't have a man, and you fucking fell because of it, you're still going to blame it on the man because, well, it's the way he made his society. No, well, look, man, you never, nothing is ever good enough, all right? Nothing is ever good enough. Going back to that lesson we talked about for women, nothing is ever good enough. You could have $1 million. You could have $100,000. She'd want $1 million. You have $1 million. She'd want $200 million. You have $200 million. She want $500 million. You have $500 million. She want $900 million. You have $900 million. She want $1 billion. You have $1 billion. She'd want $2 billion. She want $1 trillion. Just never enough, man. Never enough. A woman does not know, and a lot of us struggle with letting enough be enough. But the biggest person that struggles with it all is a woman. Never letting enough be enough. All right, constantly in a search for, I want more. I want more. Nothing's ever good enough for me. Nothing's ever good enough for me. These women don't even like Cheesecake Factory now. That's not good enough for them. Now they need a 5-star diner. You need to take them out to a Michelin-star diner. All right, we have to have a private fucking event where you have to get on a waiting list back in fucking January to go to the goddamn motherfucker in December. Right? And that's still barely good enough. You know? He only let me get one item. Well, the item's $1,000. Yeah, but only one item. Bitch, it was $1,000. What do you think, man? Well, he didn't even take me out to breakfast that day. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Okay? So going back, 1 Corinthians 11:8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Learn your place. Stay in your place. Right? We're not over here trying to breastfeed babies. Okay? So, and you got some men that wear that gay ass looking pack. I'd never be caught dead on that, man. I'd sooner hold a fake titty, right, in my hand than strap that shit up to my chest so it can give them the assumption that they're breastfeeding. Fuck that. I ain't doing that shit. All right? That's some soft ass shit. All right? You can get the baby bottle. You ain't going to have me wearing no breast suit. That's ridiculous. Okay? But men aren't going to try to put themselves in a position of a woman, all right, doing some shit like that. Right? They're not going to try to do that. Okay? You're not seeing a... Could you imagine a man that stays at home, watches the kids, okay, cooks dinner, puts on one of those breast suits, all right, vacuums the house, all right, and sews clothes for the whole family. I'm talking about the traditional role of a woman, because a lot of those things aren't so anymore because women didn't want to do them anymore, all right, and did all the traditional... Because back in the day, women used to sew the clothes. And you women say, "Oh, we got it so hard today. You know, it's so rough. We got so much to do." And yes, I'll admit that you guys are busy. You do got a lot of stuff to do. All right, I'm not gonna say that you don't got nothing to do. You do have stuff to do. But us as men, we're busy too. And you see, oh well, you go off of work. Yeah, but you got to think in our mind. We got stuff going on. We got lessons. We got plans. We got spiritual battles we're fighting, and we need that time to think about that as a man. All right, as a man. But you women don't be thinking about that type of stuff. All right, you just see us sitting there on a game or whatever, and you think, well, look, man, we've been stressed, we've been going through hell, we had to put up with your shit, all right, that, you know, we had to put up, oh, well, where do you want to eat? I don't know where you want to eat. Where do you want to eat? Well, I want to go here. Well, I didn't really want that. Well, you just said I could pick. Well, I didn't really mean you want to pick. Well, goddamn it, what do you want then? Well, I don't really know. Do you know what you want? Well, what type of cuisine do you want? Do you want burgers? I don't really want burgers. Do you want Mexican? I'm not feeling Mexican. Do you want Asian? I don't really want Asian. Well, goddamn. So we got to figure out, you got to realize as men, you're not thinking about all the stuff that we do for you on a day-to-day basis. You think about the things that you're doing for us, but you're not thinking about what we do for you, because it doesn't look as big because you're not seeing laundry get moved from A to B, all right? But you got to think about all the reasoning that we do for you, the thinking that we do for you. We had to decide where you wanted to eat. We had to help you with this situation that you're having, this breakdown, this dilemma, this situation that you're having at the day. Then we have to go to work. Then we're at the work. We have to help people and stuff. Then we have to come home. We have to make money. We have to pay the bills. We have to make sure that we have enough money to feed you and be a provider. And then on top of that, we have to have time to, as men of this truth, we have to have time to incorporate Yahweh Shem Yahushua first and foremost. That's the most important thing before any of it in all of that. All right, to make sure you're being able to have your time to pray. All right, making sure you have your time to think about lessons, to watch your lessons, and to make your lessons, right? And that takes about at least 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours by itself generally for me per day, right? 2 to 3 hours on average. So that's a lot of time in a day. And it's still not enough to give the Lord. We could always give more time to the Lord. And then on top of that, we got to make up your mind, do this, think about this stuff. And then when we're gaming or playing music or drawing, you think, oh, he's having free time. Really, at that time, we're really, and when we're doing that, we're thinking about stuff why we do that, or we're trying to get out of our mind because that's our one little bit of relaxation. Two things: you're either in your mind still thinking about stuff like, I wonder about this, I wonder about that, I wonder how this would go, or we're not trying to think about nothing and we are just trying to zone out. All right, which is usually a time where all you do is get on that video game. And thankfully, call all you Yahweh Shem Yahushua. My girl ain't like that. Because some men, man, they have women like that. Here it is. Your only time to decompress is when you're playing that game or watching a show. And she chooses to bitch right during that time, man. And it's fucking awful. Call all you Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Usually that's not the case with me. So, hey, man, it's bad. But, you know, you act like you got so much going on. But you had more going on in the past. As I was saying, you know, again, nothing is ever good enough. All right, it's actually the easiest for the American woman has it the easiest she's ever had it right now. A lot of them don't have kids, so they ain't got to worry about that. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't fuck, they don't shut up. Right? That's all I'll say. I'll try to keep it Sabbath friendly. But you know that song. All right, I don't want to mention too much about sexual stuff. The Sabbath, but they don't do none of that. Well, maybe they'll fuck. All right. Again, I'm going to leave off there because I don't want to talk a bit too. That's about the only thing they're good at. They don't cook. They don't clean. They damn sure don't shut up. All right? And, you know, they want to be over the man. Here it is. They want to be the role of a man, but they want a man to be with them. Well, that's kind of fucking gay. I don't want no woman that acts like a man because now I feel like I'm dating a man. That makes me feel like the F in the T word, right? That's what it makes me feel like. All right? So I don't want nothing like that, man. right? It's like that Kevin Samuel said. She said, I don't know why a man doesn't want me. I'm independent. I have my own business. I work for myself. I make my own hours. And you know, I can feed myself and clothe myself and do all this stuff myself, drive myself. And he said, well, see, that's the problem. What you just described is a man, right? And no man wants to date another man. And if they did, that's what they'd be doing. Right? But yeah, you gotta realize, back then, man, you women act like you got it so hard. You need to be grateful, man. Alright? Let enough be enough. As a matter of fact, let me try to find a scripture about gratefulness. Bear with me. Let's see. Bear with me. Wanted to see if ChatGPT could pull something. I mean, First Thessalonians 5:18 is pretty good. Let's get it. Oh. And sometimes, you know, on the fly, ChatGPT can be good for pulling scriptures, but sometimes it doesn't. It does, at the end of the day, it doesn't know what it's doing. So it's better just having your notes on the fly. But sometimes they can be hard to search, or sometimes you're looking for something they don't necessarily have. Sometimes King James, if you go and type like scriptures about being grateful scriptures, sometimes some will come up. But a lot of times ChatGPT is a little bit better with it, but sometimes not. Because I got mine to be able to pull Apocrypha as well. It doesn't do it great all the time. Again, you know, even if you're using ChatGPT to pull scripture sometimes, you still have to use your spirit as a man, because a lot of that stuff's just, it gives you a whole bunch of stuff and you got to wade through it just like you would if you were searching it. So this one's okay for the topic at hand, but I'd like something a little bit different. But 1 Thessalonians 5:18, it says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahweh and Hamashiach Yahushai concerning you. So you're supposed to, you know, being thankful, being grateful, right? And because you women really have it easy right now. You should not be complaining and say, oh, I have it so hard, I should have it so rough. Because if you look up what a woman had to do, as a matter of fact, and I know most of them, but I'm going to rattle them before I ask ChatGPT, because I'm asking on my phone. But a woman would have to cook. She would have to clean. All right, she'd have to bathe the kids, watch the kids, teach the kids sometimes before they went to school. All right, or before, you know, preschools and stuff like that were really popular. Then they'd have to budget. Yes, the man would give all the woman all the money to the woman, and she would budget it out. That was her job, because she was the housekeeper. She knew how much for baby food, how much for our food, how much for gas, how much do we need for, you know, refrigerables, how much do we need for canned goods, how much for fabric so I can make this clothes, because that's another thing, as I mentioned earlier, that a woman would have to do. She'd have to, baby food did not come in a can back then. You had to make the baby food, okay? You had to make it. Before Gerber came out, they had to make it. They had to mash the peas. They had to mash the carrots. They had to go and do those things. And the food generally had to cook. There wasn't fast food. Didn't really start popping off until, you know, mid-ish 50s, 60s, right? Really? They had drive-ins and diners and stuff like that, but that wasn't really fast food. You couldn't just go and grab it real quick and be home. You had to wait a little bit. It was more of like a diner, a restaurant, a little bit faster than a restaurant. And, you know, and yeah, you couldn't DoorDash your shit, right? You couldn't go in a Instacart. You had to go and shop in person. And it wasn't no Walmart back then in the 50s. You had to go each stop, all right? You had to go to the butcher to get your meats. You had to go and you know, go through the milk would be delivered generally at the time, so your dairy would be delivered. But the cheese you could get from like a dairy shop or something like that. And then you had to go to the baker to get your bread. Then you had to go to like another store to get your like maybe general. They had general stores for certain stuff and stuff like that, and certain grocery stores back then in the 50s they did a lot of produce and stuff, but they didn't have everything, right? And around 50s was really the turning point for women. The 50s was really when women should start really being grateful, because it's the 20s, 30s, and 40s and early 50s where it was the issue for women having a lot on their plate. 50s is when it was all. If you watch the commercials from the 50s, it was all about conveniencing women. The dryer, the home dryer, the washing machine, so you didn't have to use that scrubby thingy, all right, or the dishwasher, all right, or the refrigerators that they made, or the microwave in itself made it so much quicker, right? Instant meals, canned goods, right? Because back then, if you wanted canned goods, what'd you have to do? You had to get into canning. You had to do your own canning. So you women had a lot to do back then. And on top of that, I mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. You had to go and get you had to find the patterns, find the quilt, find what size your husband and your kids were, and always measure your kids because they're always growing. And generally, you were the one making their suits. You were the ones making their T-shirts. You were the one making their pants. That was a woman's job primarily. All right, it started cooling off in the 50s, but in the 1900s and even before that, and 20s and stuff like that, that's generally what the woman did. And all the budget, that's a lot of stuff. If you would have back then been saying, we have a lot of stuff to do, I'm like, damn right, you do have a lot of stuff to do. You got a lot on your plate, damn. Right? But again, at the time, men were working like fucking 70 hours a week. So they had a lot on their plates as well. So a woman, that was her full-time job. And that's what you got to realize. As women, that is your full-time job. As a man, our full-time job is the full-time job that we go and get. All right? Now, in this society, where it's not that. Like, my wife has a job. A lot of you brothers' wives have a job. So it's not, and you can't expect a perfect society. What we're saying when we say this is you women still have it easier now than you would have back then, man. You still have it easier because I'm telling you, back then it would have been rough. If I wish there was a time machine that Esau could not use nefariously, where you could just send someone back for one day to just show them how it would be like, oh, you treat us like shit. All right, boom, 1930s. Let's see how that go. Oh, I hated it. Oh, wait, is it better now or was it better then? It's so much better now. You're going to be grateful? Nah, right? That's you, man. And you women, you're never thankful. You're never thankful. Enough's not enough. And going back into it is, everything. You could have everything, it still wouldn't be good enough. But anyway, going back to patriarchy. Anytime you hear this, it's instantly dumb. So the patriarchy, it says it's a social system where men hold primary power and predominant in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. It's a system where men, specifically fathers or eldest males, are considered the heads of family, and descent is traced through the male line. This can lead to a culture where the men are seen as superior and women are controlled and marginalized. And that's just the state of rightness. That's how the Bible works. So you can have two things. You can be a feminist or you can be a godly woman. You cannot be both. You cannot be a Christian feminist, or you cannot be a feminist that's in this truth. You can either be a feminist because being a feminist is inherently hateful towards God, okay, because he's a man, all right, and he established a patriarchal system, all right, with men over women, and he decided that is the right order. So if you were a feminist, you think he's wrong and that he's fucked up, okay? So you cannot be a feminist in this truth. You cannot be a Christian feminist, because if you're a feminist, you inherently think that men are not in the right position. You think women should have more rights and freedoms, which means the Lord would be wrong, which would mean that you're against him, all right? So no such thing as a Christian feminist. Let's continue on.
So they're going into this religion with this programming already having been done via the society. And
you've been programmed and you don't even know it, man. You've been programmed by the society to have this feminist shit going on in your mind, and you don't even know it. You don't know that you've been programmed. But that's where it goes back to women. They want to think what they want to think. They want to be programmed the way that they want. They like it, but as soon as they find out it's something that's against them or something that they don't like, they'll completely write it off. Okay? They will completely write it off. They will not like it unless it's something that benefits them. All right? They won't see us in this truth. They don't want to be like that. And I'm not talking, these women out in the world, they don't want to be with us because order. But if we had $1 billion, Man, we could have them scrubbing the goddamn floor of their fucking, with a toothbrush. And calling them a hoe, calling them a bitch. Alright, they say, oh, no man needs to have no multiple women. That you don't get to have multiple wives. But if I had $1 billion, I bet I could have as many wives as I wanted, huh? I bet you'd shut the fuck up, and I bet I could have as many as I wanted, huh? I bet you'd cook and clean for me. I bet if I said I'm hungry, you gonna make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, huh? I bet if I said I was tired, you'd make the bed for me. I bet if I said my back hurt, you'd give me a massage. I bet if I said I didn't want to start the car, you gonna start that car for me, right? I bet if I said my head, you know, I can keep on going. If I had that money, I bet you'd do it, because that's something that benefits you, right? It's all about you. All you care about is you. But you don't think about the things that are benefiting you in a bond like this truth. You're not thinking about the spiritual aspect. You're not thinking about the spiritual rewards. Nah, fuck that shit, right? You don't care about that shit. That shit don't matter to me now. No, I want the money, all right? I want the weed, right? I want the man to be under me, all right? Unless he has the money, then he can be over me, right? But it's got to be a lot of money. It can't be thousands of dollars. It has to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Then I'll think about it. And you better hope I never see no man with $2 million if you got $1 million, because I'm going to go with that man. Again, always looking for more. Never letting enough be enough. You, in your mind, you will reject one thing, but you'll accept another thing, because one thing tastes sweet, one thing's bitter to you. But remember, as the scriptures say, woe unto them that put light for darkness and dark for light, that put sweet for bitter and bitter for sweet. All right? That's how you women are. Okay? You pick and choose. You don't like the idea that men has set up, you don't like the society has set up men in a position of power. All right? But you do like that they've set up feminism. All right? Which is another thing, a social construction that's got you all fucked up in the head, but you're okay with that one because you believe in that thing. See, it's all subject to what you think, what you want to think, how you feel, all right? Going not into logic, but about how you feel, as it is with women, man. So that's how it works with you women, man. You've chosen not to like the Hebrew Israelites, and you've chosen to like your own self-willed mindset, right? Only because what? And really, none of them really benefit you. Not none of them benefit. None of the that's Satan. Really, none of the feminism benefits you at all, because none of it's getting done, right? They still haven't had a female president, right? Women are still... what has it done for you? The Lord is keeping it as the way it is for a reason, because that's the way it's supposed to be, all right? And you women have already got more power and bitten off more than you can chew, and that's why society's all fucked up, because there's complete disorder. Remember, the Father is over the Son is over man is over woman, women over children. That's how the correct order goes, all right? The men are the head of the woman, all right, of the wives, all right? So women are subject unto the man, all right? And there's another that says, wives, submit yourself unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Okay, we are essentially lords unto you, all right? You have 3 lords. We have 2 lords. Okay, we have Yahweh through Yahweh, Yahushai through Yahweh, all right, or Yahweh through Yahushai, Salakia, and that's it. You have Yahweh through Yahushai through men, so that's 3. You have 3, okay? We have 2. So we're subject unto 2 powers, you're subject unto 3. Because you're submissive unto us as well, subject unto us. At least you should be, but a lot of women aren't, right? It's funny because women will say, no, I'm only subject unto the Lord. Only the Lord wanted to tell me. Ain't no man going to tell me. That's crazy, because the man is the Lord. The Lord is a man. So you're saying all this stuff about men. Meanwhile, the Lord's a man. How do you think he feels about that? Just saying.
Either being programmed by an institution. And now Hebrew Israelites, or any cult, any religion, spiritually, they know how to hit women. They know exactly where to hit women, because they know we are spiritually sound. Like, we are spiritually tapped in. We are the vessels. We are divine beings who are closer to God than men, for whatever reason.
Now that's about the dumbest shit I've ever heard. We are closer to God than men. Then why aren't you supposed to be teaching? If you're closer to the Lord than men, why is it you that went off? Why is it you that went over there and messing over there talking with that serpent when you shouldn't have even been speaking to the motherfucker in the first goddamn place? Should have mind your own goddamn business. You already probably doing something, being somewhere you shouldn't have been in the fucking first place. I'ma just go around a tree. I'ma just go around. I know he said not to touch anything from it, or like, eat of the fruits thereof. But I'ma just go around it. I'ma just go around the area. I'ma just look at it. I'm just look it maybe from a distance. Okay, I'ma just go a little bit close. I'm not to touch it because he said I can't touch it. But I'm gonna. He didn't say I couldn't be near it. He just said I couldn't touch it. Oh, hi, Mr. Serpent. How are you doing? Oh, you look pretty nice. Oh, what? Oh, I should eat from the tree. It was looking pretty good. It was looking pretty. Oh, it won't kill me. You sure? Because God said it would kill me. It won't. You sure? It won't. Nah, you probably won't lie. It probably won't kill me. Let me go ahead and eat that shit. I'm gonna bring it back to my man. That's you. Getting involved in some shit that you don't need to go and do. Over there in the tree, in the serpent, in the fruit, that's all synonymous with forbidden knowledge. You're going and getting forbidden knowledge that you didn't need to have. Alright, which really started when you started speaking with that serpent. Okay? Which you shouldn't have been doing in the first place, man. And that was a test. And you failed. Failed. Wasn't Eve. Wasn't Eve, that's Satan. Wasn't Adam, alright? Eve, alright, was in transgression. It'll say that. Was not in the transgression, but Eve was. Right? Men, Adam, went off for a different reason. What he went off with was listening to that woman and going along to get along. Alright? That's what he went off with. Going along to get along. He ate of that same fruit of that forbidden knowledge. Alright, when he shouldn't have. He ate of those same fruits. Okay?
The feminine is the one who can truly read the room. The feminine is the gifted one. The feminine has been the prophets. The feminine has been the dreamers.
The feminine have been the prophets. Where? Was Jeremiah? Let's go into. Let's just go and see something real quick. Let's go and see. Ooh, what we got here? We got, let's see. Joshua. Ruth. One about women. All right, and she wasn't a prophet like that. There's another thing. We talk about prophet and prophetess. You always get prophetess confused. Prophetess, and you mentioned dream. I'm not going to rebuke you on that because dreams. All right, women do be having dreams. That's how the prophetesses work. Okay, it's through dreams, not through going out and prophesying or anything like that. They'll have dreams that they tell their men that the men will interpret. Okay, 1 Samuel, okay, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, we could, on and on, Matthew, John, Luke, Paul, Titus, Timothy, and then of course Jude. But there are ones that talk about female or are named after females, but it's not because they were prophets, all right, prophetess. But again, that goes back to being one who dreams, and then the men interpret it. Okay, you got the wrong idea. So you say, oh, we're closer to the Lord. Well, 1 Peter 3:7 would say that that's not the case. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. We're supposed to be heirs together of the grace of life, but you don't want to, communicate. You don't want to work together. You want to be on top, and that's just how it don't work like that. But you are the weaker vessel. Weaker vessel. Weaker vessel. Weaker vessel. You're the weaker vessel. Okay? Pretty plain. Pretty simple. Alright? And this is why, and we'll probably just close out with that. But even in Genesis with Adam, you were never meant for us. We were never meant for you. You were meant for us. As we just got earlier in the scripture, the woman was made for the man, not the man for the woman. Genesis 2:18 says, and the Lord Yahweh said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. You are our help. You're the help. You are the help. Okay? But that's fucked up. Well, it says right here, the Lord said it. I will make him an help meet for him. You're help meet. You are help meet. That's what you are, help meet. Okay, you are the help. Okay, so that's it. You know, you are to help the man establish his legacy, not the man help establish yours. Because guess what? Guess what? At the end of the day, if you help that man establish his legacy, that legacy is yours as well. Okay, but you're too focused on your own legacy and this and me. If you help that man grow, okay, you got to realize you're over here trying to build something else. You're trying to, here it is, he's trying to build an apartment complex. You're trying to build a shack. Guess what? If you help this man build this apartment complex, you'll have a place to stay. Your legacy will follow. Okay? Well, my legacy ain't through no man. Well, let's see how your legacy is without a man. All right, go ahead, sign up for OnlyFans. Go ahead, sell pictures of your nasty ass, stank ass pussy and asshole. All right, and then for $5 per month, because with so much money you're gonna make from that. Even if you do make money, at what cost? Over your fucking morality. All right, and go ahead and just beg for men and go on Tinder and go on dates just to get some food. There's your legacy. What kind of fucking legacy is that? Pathetic, fucking filthy one. All right, that's pathetic and degenerate and disgraceful. You help your man. You got to help him in what he's building. It's not for you to build. We're the builder. All right, you need to hand us the wood, not trying to go and build the house of your own. Okay, that's not how it works. So, but these women don't understand that. All right, you were the help. You were the help. We're the help. Is the help. Will be the help. It's gonna be like that in the kingdom too. So you can do what you want now in the kingdom. You're going back to being like that. And guess what? You're not going to hate it because you're finally going to be in your right mind. Call all Yahweh Meow Shot. Most of these women are not in their right mind.
Healers of our communities for generations. So women are easily reeled in when it comes to a spiritual practice because we are typically hungry when it comes to spirituality.
Well, if you're the more spiritual person, wouldn't that mean if you were typically reeled in and all that stuff? Wouldn't you be easier to discern whether you were being deceived or not? No, you can't understand if you're being deceived or not. Why? Because you're a woman, okay? And women are easily deceived, just like you were by that serpent in that garden. All right. The Lord told you what to do and what not to do, and you didn't listen. Okay? It's because you were the weaker vessel. Adam was not deceived. You were. Adam was closer to the Lord, not you. You went off. All right? Through you, sin entered into the world. Okay? And also through the man as well, but first through you, then through the man. You started it. Right? You started it. We weren't perfect because we followed, all right, which is wrong. All right, and that's why a man should never follow after a woman and listen to what a woman says to do or does. And that's where we were wrong. But you were the one who was in the transgression first. That was deceived first.
Truth. And we'll get it by any means necessary. We want to learn. If we're not studious at anything else, we are studious when it comes to our spirituality because this is what tugs on our heart.
I can study how to make shit smell great, but it don't matter at the end of the day because your studying of your spirituality don't mean nothing. Because spirituality for these women is a bullshit ass term, really. Because spirituality really should be referring in the scripture through Yahweh Meow Shai. People use the term spirituality for some bullshit. All right, that's why it's a bullshit term now because it's been dumbed down. When somebody says I'm spiritual, run. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. Run the fuck away. This bitch gonna pull out two rose quartz, all right, a tourmaline, all right, some elixir, and a headband, and she's gonna attune your chakra, man. You better run the fuck like hell, all right. Run like the fucking hell. She's gonna read your zodiac sign. You better run the fuck away. Some of that zodiac stuff has backing, okay, but it's been so bugged out. We don't have the full formula for it. But yeah, certain days that you're born and certain moon signs you're born on, yeah, does have some play into how you are as a person, okay? But it's not definitive, all right? And then they name it after a bunch of Greek and Roman shit like Capricorn and all that stuff. Yes, Capricorns act a certain type of way. Sagittarius act a certain type of way. But there's more formula to that. Your name, it's just like with Omen Nomen, man. Your name is a lot of who you're going to be as well, okay? But we don't have the 100% correct way with that, and so you'll see certain things that is correct. You'll see certain things. Oh yeah, Capricorns or Sagittarius or Aries or they do act like that, right? because there is something to being born during a certain seasons. Okay, there is something to it. Just like certain moon, the size of the moon, right, or moon phases, right. Certain things like that make help determine who you are as a person. Yes, but we don't have a whole bunch of information on that in the first place. And two, at the end of the day, it really is not something that's super important. All right, you don't need to know what your moon phase is or what your Aquarius rising or whatever the fucking bullshit. All right, that you need to know, because that's all. All astrology has been bugged out into a pagan-like mindset. It's the same thing with stones. Yes, the Lord gave us stones, all right, and stuff like that, and stones do heal through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They don't do anything on their own, all right. It's the same thing with like incense and stuff like that, or different things that you pray over, or herbs, right? They have benefits, but the benefits are really only amplified through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai through prayer. So, really that rose quartz isn't doing anything for you on its own. It's all through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And you could really get an equivalent effect if you didn't even have that rose quartz by just praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, can it help amplify if the Lord wants it to? Yes, it can. All right, it can help channel certain stuff. All right, if you're using it in the right way. But, and again, we use it on the right-hand side, not the left-hand side. Because, again, that's another thing that goes back to paganistic customs and Hinduism and all that stuff. And so you don't need to be getting too involved in stones and all this stuff. Now, herbalism is good for your health and stuff, but you get people get obsessed with like the stone and like the astrological stuff, like, oh, I'm a Aquarius on the third moon rising with a lower low chakras, all that Hindu shit. But they're like, I have a lower Venus, and I don't even know. It just sounds fucking crazy because a lot of it's crazy. Look, all you need to know is a Capricorn, they act a certain type of way. Sagittarius, they act a certain type of way. All right, and that's that. All right, leave it at that. You don't need to go, well, my rising sun is in it. No, look, you're going too deep, and some of that shit's bugged out. It's the same thing with stones. Some of it's true, some of it's bugged out. Okay, some of it's bugged out. So, again, but figuring out your spirituality is it's a wild term. Because unless you're figuring it out through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, then it's just some bullshit. All right, because if you figure out your spirituality through aligning your chakras and getting a chakra X-ray, and then you put 3 stones on your forehead and you go Om, and then you meditate at 3:33. No, that's too much. That's weird, man. That's not it's bugged out. It's bugged out is what it is. And it's not according to the scripture. So, if you're figuring out your spirituality that way, that don't really mean shit. Congratulations, you figured out nothing.
Women are extremely gifted spiritually, and this is something that
Wrong.
they know.
We got Florida in the building. Now.
And I want to show you, I want to play this too, because I want to show you, I forgot about this. This shows you the exact process of how women are drawn in. And then, like, they're like, ooh, I like this. And then they find out, Hebrew is like, oh, them the ones with the order. No thanks. Here you go. Check this out.
Bianca, do you obey the laws in America?
Yes,
Why do you do that?
because we're under their government.
Right. Do you obey the laws of God?
Yes.
Do you know the laws of God?
What, the Ten Commandments?
We can start there. Do you know the 10 Commandments?
Not right off the back, but yes, I know of them.
But you try your hardest to keep them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're just coming out here. We're making sure our people fear God more than they fear America. Right? Because black people, we don't even understand that we're God's chosen people in the Bible.
You're a Hebrew Israelite.
Are you an African American woman?
Yes, I am.
Then you would be one too.
No, I'm not.
Where do you come from, Bianca?
I came from my mother and father.
Before slavery, where did your people come from? So if you don't know, Bianca, why do you just give up being a Hebrew Israelite? Why do you say, I can't be that, if you don't know, honestly?
She doesn't want it. And honestly, you never know. Could be Edomite. Could be a tear. Because she's a little weird. But, yeah, man. Actually, I might grab some off this comment board. Because there's probably some good edifying scriptures there. Let me get one more. Yeah, so, no, well, I only had one more to close out with. So, let's go ahead and read some. See what we got here. Black woman is finished. Absolutely. Some of these I liked on my other account, but they can just have double likes. Jacob, I love that. Jacob's Trouble is going to wipe that stupid smile off her face. Laugh now, cry later. There you go. No, that one don't want to play. So it seems like people do not understand that they are still accepting the whole message of the world's Jesus Christ, even if they say, I don't care if he's black, white, brown, pink, turquoise, cyan, or whatever color they come up with. Even if you reject the image, you accept the message, and thus accepting the pseudo version of Yahushua. Yeah, it's not the right version, man. You're in this, they'll be like, oh, well, I believe he's black. Because some people be like, oh, I do believe he's black, but then you attribute all the, Christianity, lovingness of like, oh, he allows whatever to go on. He doesn't have his stuff on lock, right? He just allows whatever, and that's Jesus. That's not Yahushua. It's more about, it's not just skin color. It's about principles. Okay, what else? Absolutely, this is great. It says, therefore pray not. This is Jeremiah 7:16. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. There you go, man. These people are through. There we go. Call all Yahweh Shemel Shai. I was looking for something like this. Job 39:17. You say, oh, well, women are closer to God spiritually. Well, look at this. Job 39:17. Because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. The fuck are you talking about, man? Over here saying, we're closer to God than men. No. He deprived you of knowledge. He deprived you of knowledge. Okay? And that's what we'll get. That's actually a good place to close off after this scripture. And then finally, for you women and any you men that think you know something, you're over here on, it's like your heartburn, you're over here on YouTube or TikTok or somewhere making a ridiculous ass video. Stop it. Get some help. Proverbs 28:26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. There you go, man. That's it, man. So, if you trust in your own heart, you're a fool. Okay? You're over here thinking about what you think, what you know. Alright? And you don't know nothing at the end of the day. Alright? The way of a fool is right in his own mind. Alright? There's another one, roughly paraphrasing. We'll go and get it. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. Counsel is counsel, correction, a body of people. You women don't like that. You'd rather think what you want to think. Alright? So, that's where I'm going to close out. Alright? You women are through, man. You're through. Alright? Except for you women in this truth that are actually doing the right thing. May Yahweh Shemel Shai bless you, sisters. Right? And you brothers as well that are doing the right thing. And, everyone that's in this truth that's doing the right thing. But you women out in the world, sheesh. You're done, man. You're done. So I'm going to close out with that. Lord, what was edifying? Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to say Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.